There, he said. Now we'll be able to bowl, right? Whee! What a game we'll have. He played and lost some of his money, but then the clock struck 12 and they all disappeared. Then he laid down and fell into a peaceful sleep. The next morning the king came in to inquire. How did you make out this time? He asked. I played 9 pins and lost a few coppers. Didn't you get the shivers? Go on, he said. I just enjoyed myself. If only I knew what the shivers were. On the third night he sat down on his bench again and said sadly, if I could only get the shivers. When it grew late, 6 big men came in carrying a coffin. Ha ha, he said. That must be my cousin who died a few days ago. He beckoned with his fingers and cried, come out. Come out, cousin, come out. They set the coffin down on the floor, and he went over and took the lid off. There was a dead man laying inside. The boy felt his face, but it was ice cold. Wait, he said, I'll warm you a little. He went to the fire, warmed his hands, and put it on the dead man's face, but it stayed cold. Then he took him out, set him down by the fire, put the dead man's head on his lap, and rubbed his arms to start the blood moving. When that didn't help, he remembered that when two lie in bed together, they warm each other. So he put him into the bed, covered him up, and got in with him. After a while, the dead man warmed up and began to move. Then the boy said, see, cousin, I've warmed you, haven't I? But the dead man shouted, now I'm going to strangle you. What? Cried the boy. Is that my thanks? Back you go in the coffin. At that he picked him up, tossed him in, closed the lid. Then 6 men came and carried the coffin away. I just can't get the shivers, said the boy. I'll never learn how in this place, not if I live to be 100. Then a man came in. He was bigger than all the others and terrifying to look at, but he was old and had a long white beard. You little scamp, he cried out. Now you'll find out about the shivers because you're going to die. Not so fast, said the boy. If you want to kill me, you'll have to catch me. I'll catch you all right, said the monster. Take it easy, stop bragging. I'm as strong as you, probably stronger. We'll see about that, said the old man. If you're stronger than I am, I'll let you go. Come on, we'll give it a try. Then he led him through dark passages to a smithy, picked up an axe, and with one blow drove one anvil into the ground. I can do better than that, said the boy, and went to the other anvil. The old man came up beside him to watch, and his white beard hung down. The boy seized the axe, split the anvil at one stroke, and crammed the old man's beard in the crack. Now I've got you, he said. Now who's going to die? And he picked up an iron rod and rained blows on the old man until he whimpered and begged him to stop and promised to give him great riches. The boy pulled out the axe and let the old man go, whereupon the old man led him back to the castle, and there in a cellar showed him 3 chests full of gold. One part is for the poor, he said, one part is for the king, and the third is for you. At that the clock struck 12, the ghost disappeared, and the boy was standing in the dark. Never mind, he said, I'll find my way out. He groped until he found his room, and then he went in to sleep beside the fire. In the morning the king came in and said, now this time I bet you've learned what the shivers are. No, he replied, what can they be? My dead cousin was here, and then an old man with the beard turned up and showed me a lot of money down in the cellar. But nobody told me what the shivers are. Then the king said, you've set the castle free, and you shall marry my daughter. That's all very well and good, he replied, but I still don't know what the shivers are. The gold was brought up, and the wedding was celebrated. But much as the young king loved his wife, and happy as he was, he kept saying, if I could only get the shivers. If I could only get the shivers. In the end, it got on her nerves. Never mind, said her lady's maid. Leave it to me. I'll give him the shivers. She went out to the brook that ran through the garden and had them bring her a whole pail full of minnows. That night, when the young king was sleeping, his wife pulled off the blanket and emptied the pail full of cold water and minnows on top of him. The little fishes flipped and wriggled all over him. He woke up and cried out, "Oh, dear wife, I'm shivering, I'm shivering. Now at last I know what the shivers are." Thank you for joining Twangy Reads. If you enjoyed this, check out my other works.